In April of 2012, I spent a month living technologically in the 1950s in New York City. This meant no cell, no iPod, no internet, no Facebook. As a result of that challenge, I'm on a quest for a more polite life. This past life with me, Elle Gore. Hi, welcome back. I'm Elle Gore, and this is episode 24 of This Past Life. This month I wanted to talk a little bit about theater etiquette and dressing for the theater, and this will parlay directly into what this month's challenge is. I attended 2 performances in the last month, which for me is actually kind of a lot because even though I live in New York City, I don't tend to attend the theater a lot simply because it's very expensive. And I've seen some very, very good shows and some not so good shows, so I kind of don't try to go to theater. I guess that's a nice way of saying it. I wouldn't choose it as an evening. Anyway, I have a very good friend of mine who lured me to see Tornado at the Metropolitan Opera with promise of dress up, which was very beautifully executed by both of us. And I also saw Newsies on Broadway. I'm a big fan of the movie, so that was part of my Christmas gift this year. And during both of these performances, and then I also went and recently saw a movie. I went and saw Les Miserables. And during all of these performances, the opera, Broadway, and movie theater, there were severe etiquette bad offenders with their cell phones, which I found incredibly interesting considering all of those tickets are expensive. I mean, even the show, I went to the $6 show because I'm cheap. There were people within my periphery, you know what I mean, around me, who were using their cell phones during the performance. And the women in front of us at Newsies, I'm looking down, and they're checking Facebook. They have paid $100 a ticket, and there were like 8 of them, to sit in a theater while someone else is performing, reading Facebook. I couldn't believe it. And then next to me at Tornado, an older gentleman, those ladies were probably in their 20s, an older gentleman in his probably 60s is reading text messages during Tornado, which is beautiful and opulent and like the epitome of what it is to go to the theater and see something beautiful and a perfectly acceptable time to step away from the technology. And this, I can't even tell you how much it shocked me. So that made me think about not only this month's challenge, but also the history of attending the theater and how that time can really give us an opportunity to enjoy a lack of technology in a time when we don't really get that ever. Pretty much. So where did evening attire go? Well, evening attire, including the ever-divine evening gown, began centuries ago as a way to leave behind a day spent in the grime of city or the delightful aromas that come with traveling via horseback. In fact, for some time, a tailcoat was expected at any event after sundown where a woman was present, including your own dinner table. Although the necessity for this change of clothing went by the wayside with the advent of the automobile, the presentation of a desire to be clean and well-kept in social situations remained strong through the 60s. This included attending the theater, where even after the Second World War, men were still socially expected to don a tuxedo to the theater. Not a dinner jacket, which were only acceptable for stag events.
A tuxedo. Swoon. So when did this stop? Well, many think it's all TV's fault. During the 1950s, 77% of Americans bought their first TV for their home. And even though the average price of a movie ticket in 1960 was a mere 69 cents, or the equivalent of about $4 today, the amount of theater goers plummeted. After years of putting on finery for an elegant night on the town, we became content to warm up our dinner in the microwave and park it in front of the TV. Hence the death of evening attire.
Last month's challenge was to use a cloth hanky. I want to know how you guys felt about this one. This was one of my simpler challenges, but I think it creates not only something that is pleasant, but also goes back to manners, goes back to, it also helps with like using less and things like that. So let me know what you thought about that. And now on to this month's challenge. This month's challenge is going to be to have a technology-free event with friends or loved ones. What does that mean? Ideally, it would be a dinner. A dinner with no TV, no cell phones, no microwave, no dishwasher, none of that, nothing. It would mean cooking your dinner, sitting down with your friends or loved ones, or even by yourself is fine, and enjoying that time away from the chaos of our lives. And so I want all of you to maybe go one step further. Have a dinner out with, if you don't want to cook, if you don't want to do the ideally version, you could also just do a dinner out with friends where all of the cell phones go in a bag or a basket or something, where nobody is distracted for a good whatever amount of time that you're with them. I think that this is a throwback to those days when A, we didn't have those things, and B, it was very rude to excuse yourself from your party just because out of respect for other people's time, and that you had committed to spending that evening with your guests. So it's kind of twofold. I think this is a great challenge too because Valentine's Day is coming up, and whether you have a loved one or friend or a family member that you are spending Valentine's Day with, either in celebration of or in damnation of, a technology-free night out might be lovely, and just show how much you love your significant other or your friend or yourself. Look at me. I'm practically Cupid. I'm even wearing red. You can't tell because it's in black and white, but red, 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 red. So, this month's challenge, spend a technology-free event with friends or loved ones, or yourself is okay too. Now on to everyone's favorite game show, Name That Flat Silver. Last month's Flat Silver was our first knife, and that was, drumroll please, dinner knife! The knives aren't very exciting. That's okay. Soon you're going to have knowledge of all of your flat silver, and then where will you be? You will be admired by your friends and family all over the world. That's very exciting. Oh! I wanted to tell you, I am looking for vintage-loving, vinyl-loving musicians or bands who would be interested in being featured on the show as we move forward. This is our first month on Blip TV, and as we go forward, I would like to incorporate music from live bands and people that I admire, and hopefully get them a little bit of exposure, and hopefully find a lovely song for the beginning of and end of this episode, of all episodes. So contact me if that's something you're interested in, or go ahead and forward my information on if that's something somebody you know might be interested in. I can't wait to hear from you. I think that's it for this month's episode of This Past Life. As always, you can visit me online. We have a new TV channel at bliptv/thispastlife. It's very exciting. Go ahead and visit us there. Or you can visit us in all the other regular places, facebook.com/thispastlifenyc, or you can contact me. Contact me. Let me know what you think about the show, or if you just happen to know what this flat silver is for this week. Or if you have any questions or ideas, you can always email me at thispastlife@gmail.com, or you can write me by hand, which I prefer, at This Past Life, P.O. Box 1417, New York, New York 10028. Wait, is that right? I think that's right. This has been Elle Gore for This Past Life. I'll see you another day.